Good morning, everyone. So glad you're waking up with us at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Irampour. And yeah, hopefully things are nice and calmer in your neighborhood this morning. I will say it might be a little soggy still on your commute as people are getting back to the groove, back to their rhythm. So let's check in with Evan and see what's going on with the storm. Has it all moved along?
Mostly. Okay. We have a few tiny remaining showers. We all saw them driving in this morning. Yes. Mainly the foothills is where they're contained to right now. And hey, the mountaintops are still getting hit pretty hard with snow. I mean, they've got another 4 to 6 inches possible that the mountains could be picking up on. As far as the forecast goes along the coastline, we're mostly dry out there. A few remaining sprinkles possible. Temperatures in the upper 50s. Remember, roads are still wet across the county, and it is a cold start to the morning. So temperatures are right now in the 40s along the coast, 45 in Fallbrook. Look at Palomar Mountain and Mount Laguna. They're at 26 degrees right now. 55 in downtown San Diego and 52 in Del Mar. By the time we get to the afternoon, we'll warm up just slightly, and then it looks like we'll be dry for today and tomorrow once these remaining showers clear out through the morning. We are going to be back to more wet weather by the about Thursday time frame. We'll let you know what that's going to be shaping up like coming up in just a bit.
Evan, thank you so much. And right now, San Diegans, many cleaning up after these heavy rains flooded our roads. The San Diego River rose, causing all kinds of problems. And then you see here with trees that were toppled over.
CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol in Mission Valley showing us the damage left behind after that river flooded. Good morning.
Well, this morning it's definitely windy. We're feeling a little bit of sprinkles, but it's not coming down anything like it was yesterday morning. So to the left of me is the San Diego River that, of course, we know overflows and floods during heavy rains into areas like this. I'm going to step aside so you can get an idea of what that parking structure behind me here in Fashion Valley looks like. Because it's built below the San Diego River water level, it really does flood. I mean, it looks like there's easily a foot of water in this area. We can't really go any further here at the Fashion Valley Mall in terms of the parking area because we know that it's not smart to go through any amounts of flooding water because you know, a lot of those San Diego fire rescues had a very busy day yesterday. They made several water rescues, actually 7 throughout the day. Of course, heavy rain not just filling the river, but also soaking the ground, uprooting trees. Yesterday, we were in Pacific Beach. A massive tree came down on power lines over there. So a lot of cleanup around the county. Then we talked to people in San Marcos. We spoke to a family that saw severe flooding that damaged their bottom floor. Their home sits at a low point on the street, and it's right next to the Buena Vista Creek, which overflows heavy during rain, of course, very similar to the San Diego River. For them, trying to prevent their property from flooding feels like a helpless endeavor, they told us. They said the sandbags don't even stand a chance. Take a listen.
So basically the water level reached like this level right here. We were trying to like do what we can. Like as you can see, like there's a lot of damage, a lot of mold, a lot of like just disaster.
And back out here live, once the sun comes up, we'll give you a better idea of what the flooding looks like in other areas. This is just a good representation of how much water comes off the San Diego River. Right in front of me, we have Riverwalk Drive and Fashion Valley Drive. That is completely blocked off. We even saw a car abandoned in the middle of that massive flooding area. There's a police officer standing blocking that area, just reminding people this is not something that you could just drive your car through. A good reminder all around the Mission Valley and Fashion Valley area to look out for those pooling waters, the ponding, because it's just not safe. We're just waiting for that water level to go down. Of course, we'll be your eyes and ears out here. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live for CBS 8.
Oh yeah, Dana Marie, we know that parking lot all too well. It's below the river levels, so yeah, it gets filled with water. We want to show you right now all of these closures at our local beaches. You see the areas in red, yeah, especially in the South Bay. A lot of closures here, along with the Sweetwater Reservoir impacted because the flooding, the rain caused sewage to then go out into the ocean. So that's why right along the border, it looks very unsafe. The conditions at South Ponto State Beach, San Diego Bay, Bataquillo Taquitos Lagoon outlet. So that's all in North County as well. And Sweetwater Reservoir all impacted. Plus Imperial Beach still closed because of sewage that comes from the Tijuana River. So it's pretty widespread what we're seeing here. The general rain advisory has also been extended. You don't want to swim where there's bacteria. And now multiple schools not having classes today throughout the San Diego mountains. So these closures include Julian Union Elementary and High School District, as you see, Mountain Empire Unified School District, Spencer Valley School District, and Warner Unified School District. School officials say the roads and the weather unsafe for children to come to class today. They don't want you driving through the snowy and icy conditions because it's coming down in those higher elevations. And right now, Governor Gavin Newsom enforcing a new executive order to help places hit hard by these recent winter storms. The governor signing the new order, mobilizing more state resources to help many of these flooded areas. The new order waives working hours limitations for some emergency responders. It also waives fees to replace records for any lost birth and marriage certificates if that was caused by flooding. And it provides support for medical services and schools in places like the flooded Merced County. This week, President Biden planning to visit us here in California to assess a lot of this damage. First, he'll meet with officials and many first responders on the Central Coast to take a look at the recovery there. He'll also help figure out how the federal government can best provide help to communities devastated by flooding. His visit will be on Thursday.
Well, cleanup is underway in Tijuana after several deadly mudslides. 2 children were killed in Tijuana yesterday when heavy rain and mud destroyed their home. It happened in southern Tijuana in the neighborhood of Tejamen. Rescue crews were able to save 2 adults, but a 7-year-old and a 14-year-old died. Homes were destroyed in a couple of other neighborhoods in Tijuana. No one died in those collapses, but 3 people were hospitalized. And take a look at mudslide caves in the windows of a home in Berkeley. Massive mudslides surrounded homes in this Berkeley neighborhood, affecting at least 20 residents. Mud also closed some roads surrounding the UC Berkeley campus. No injuries reported here. Saturated hills in San Mateo County caused rock slides to crash down onto the street there, leaving little room for vehicles to navigate around those huge boulders. In all, more than 500 landslides have occurred statewide since the new year. All this moisture adding up. Happening today, day 4 of the preliminary hearing for Larry Millete, accused of killing his wife Maya Millete. The Chula Vista mother of 2 is still missing.
CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us in studio now to preview what's going to happen in court today, Chris.
Yeah, and I think there are still a lot of eyes on exactly what will be happening, even though this is just the preliminary hearing, because so many people want to know the answers, where Maya is and what will be the fate of her husband, Larry. Now, yesterday was, of course, a holiday, so prosecutors will take back over calling witnesses today. On Friday, that's the last time we heard from anyone in the courtroom, and it was actually Maya's little brother, JR, who went on the record about a number of things in the case, including the day that Maya went missing. Now, JR said that Larry was home and told him he had just gotten back home from work. He said Larry was wearing board shorts and not his usual work attire. Remember, this is about 2 years ago now. JR testified that he knocked on Maya's bedroom door, but no one answered. He also testified that he knew firsthand about Larry and Maya having difficulties in their marriage. He said Larry would sometimes call him multiple times a day, sometimes 5 times a day, to talk to him about it. Maya also reached out to JR, and during Friday's hearing, prosecutors unveiled a text thread between the siblings. In it, Maya complained about Larry being too controlling and mentally abusive. But take a listen to what else Maya's brother had to say.
He told me that Maya might be leaving him, and he asked me to help him.
Now, Maya's sister, Marty Chris, also took the stand again in cross-examination. The defense actually asked about Maya's alleged drinking and extramarital affair. The defense says that the questions were relevant to changes that Maya exhibited before she went missing. Of course, we're going to continue to follow today's developments, including who the prosecution is expected to call. Again, we're hearing from more witnesses, but for now, we're going to send things back to you, Eric and Netta.
Chris, thank you so much. And of course, here on CBS 8, we're going to have continuing coverage on this day 4 and as this preliminary hearing continues for Larry Millete. And
tonight at 6 on CBS 8, Shannon Handy and Steve Price will be speaking with a legal analyst about today's hearing. You can follow CBS 8 online for all of those updates.
All right, and now here we are at 6:10 and wondering with this storm, there's so much to clean up.
Yeah.
And hopefully today's the day people can do that.
Yeah, and I mean, over the mountaintops, they're still working with quite a bit of snow out there. But yeah, the palm fronds are everywhere on the ground across the county. Roads are still wet outside. There's still a lot to be done as a few remaining showers taper off, kicking off your Tuesday morning. We're off to a dry rest of the week with the exception of Thursday. There's a few showers that will look a lot like this by the time we get to Thursday, but you can see how right now San Diego is one of the few spots that still has that wet weather out there. From Santa Barbara all the way down through about the border with Orange County, we're mainly dry, but from the Orange County San Diego border and south to the international border, you still see plenty of green popping up on the screen, especially toward your foothills and across the mountaintops where snow is still coming down. Take a look at your watches, warnings, and advisories that we have. High surf advisory remains. That's the longest advisory that we'll have for the day today because that won't expire till 10 p.m. We're still working with 6 to 10 foot waves along the coast, so remember that. Winter weather advisory in effect through noon today. That means that the roads are still very slippery across the mountaintops, and that snow is still falling as we speak. So snow showers will taper off by the afternoon too. Wind advisory remains through 1 p.m. across your mountains and your deserts. So it's still very breezy, and in some cases that wind is moving around some of the snow that has fallen over the mountaintops. So let's take a look at what your next 5 days will bring us. We'll get to some slightly warmer territory, but Thursday is the day where we'll still have some PM showers expected. Tomorrow will be dry out there, so it looks like between now and tomorrow will be mainly dry, but we'll hold on to about a 10 to 20% really diminished chance today of that wet weather. Again, a few remaining showers clearing out, but otherwise we should see a bit of the sun. Temperatures remain on the cooler side. Let's take a look at traffic this morning and how the roads are shaping up. So far, we're not struggling too much. We still see mainly drive times in the 60-mile-per-hour range, starting to slow down just slightly on the 52 westbound there at the bottom of your screen. You're at an 8-minute commute from the 125 to the 15, and speeds are in the upper 50-mile-per-hour range. Back to you.